by 21:9 ratio, 39 inch. I've got it today in my car. I just know how I'm gonna set it up. We are live right now, but the mics aren't on, so don't worry about it. Mics will be on next week.
Live for what?
Live streaming for the people at home. What you guys will be doing when you're doing remote learning. Shelton, you related to Maddie?
Yep.
Gotcha. Leah, are you related to Evan?
No, I'm related to Noah.
Oh, no way. Ha, no way, no what? It's a joke. I loved having Noah in class last year. I miss that kid. Heard he got bit by a dog recently.
Really?
I heard.
No.
No?
I hate him.
Oh, okay. There seems to be a side of Noah I don't know. Makes me sad. Alrighty, I bet this is everybody. Let's play a game. I say your name, you say here. Cameron.
Here.
Okay, so you need to raise your hand so I know which. Okay, awesome. Evan.
Here.
Fantastic. Okay. I used to be a twin too. Camden.
Here.
Rad. I like what you do with the hair. Leah.
Here.
Hi. McKinley. Like what you did with the hair. All right, so that's everybody. Haley, Jordan, Sebastian, and Kaylee, if you're watching at home, can you leave a comment so I know that you're here? For now, I'm going to mark you absent. If you can leave a comment so I know you're here, I will mark you present. Take your time. I know there's a bit of a delay. Turns out the internet here, as of 4 days ago, is half as good as my internet at home. And by half as good, what I mean is that at home, I'm the only one using my internet, more or less. Here, everyone's using my internet, but less powerful, and we're all sharing it. Now, I mentioned that a couple days ago, and Dwayne got back to me, Mr. Schaefer, and said that he made a phone call, and now it's twice as strong. So now we're even. The amount of internet I have at home is the same as we have here, except now we're all sharing it. So there's going to be a bit of a delay. I did this last year before it was the hot thing, before pandemic. I did live streaming, where I'd live stream every day, so it would be recorded to YouTube so kids could watch stuff if they missed class or whatever. So I'm pretty used to doing this type of thing. I did it over here with a desk and not with a green screen. You know, over here so you could see me. Now I got to be over here so I don't catch Rona from you guys, you little bags of germs. So I'm used to doing this. I've got a pretty good setup. I had to take my home setup and bring it here with my crappy computer from college, not my nice new computer, my old speakers. I bought a new soundboard recently. I got to set that up. That's why the mics are not working. They're not set up correctly yet. My old soundboard was crapping out on me last year, but I made it work. Because, sound craps out for a couple minutes. Kids aren't going to watch the video on YouTube anyway, usually. Now, it's pretty important. So anyway, over spring, I did this, a little live stream. I did it on Twitch.com. You guys familiar with Twitch at all? Don't watch any gamers on there or anything like that? MLG, baby! 360 no scope, Snoop Dogg. You know what those things are? Okay, fair enough. Anyway, so I did it on Twitch. It was really fun. I had a soundboard hooked up where I could press a little thing and we quote SpongeBob or something if it was funny in class, and made the show fun for everybody to watch. I had a soundboard, like I said, and on Twitch you can gain points over time for watching. Right? It's built into Twitch. The more you watch a streamer, the more points you get. And you can use it to buy stuff that they have. Well, I set it up to my soundboard. You can put your own sound in, and or use my own and have it activate. I have one kid, Thomas Schlopper, who's no longer here. He's over at Sterling now. Funny kid. He saved up a ton of points. He watched every stream, even the streams that were in his class. He saved up like 1,000 points. And he used the 1,000 points to make his own sound and play it. So I'm teaching, right? Doing math, doing my thing. In the middle of it, all of a sudden I hear, someone spent 1,000 points. And then I hear, and everybody starts laughing. And I'm a drummer, and I'm like, I don't understand that. So I had to look it up. I shouldn't have. And yeah. So it was pretty fun last year. Some of you are getting this joke, some of you are not. Right, fair enough. So, hi, let's play a game. None of you guys know me, or at least not very well. I do this every year. Not really a game, it's more like crass humor. That's my last name. Who wants to try to pronounce it? I swear to God, if you heard from somebody else, snitches get stitches. Do your best shot. Don't be afraid.
McAnally?
McAnally?
Yeah.
Not bad, pretty close. Yeah?
Alley.
Okay. Anybody else? Snitches get stitches. I've been talking to people. See, this doesn't work. It was great last year because my first year in school, no one knew. Right? And they see their report card, or not their report card, their class list, and they go, McAnally? Right? And yeah, that's literally how it's spelled. It's not how it's said. But I think it used to be said that way. So the story goes like this. My last name used to be this because I'm Scottish. And the Scottish people didn't want to be confused for Irish people because the Irish people were persecuted. They were made fun of, right? And so they switched the A and the C to be like this. Now again, let me say this. They switched the A and the C from this to this because they didn't want to get made fun of. You see the irony here, right? Yeah. They switched it from this, which, oh my God, it might sound Irish, to McAnally, right? So I'm pretty sure that's literally how you say that word, McAnally. But my family, of course, was like, oh, no. That's not how you say it. It's Mac and Alley, like steak and shake. Shake and bake. Anybody watch Talladega Nights? No? Ricky Bobby? No? Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Which one are you? Cameron, the one who raises his hand. Got it. Okay. That'll work. Again, I used to be a twin. So, Mac and Alley is how you say the name. You can call me Mr. Mac. My dad is Mr. Mac. He's a teacher, or at least was before he retired. My mom was a teacher. Now she's a guidance counselor, so she still works at school, but she's Miss Mac. My sister is a teacher. She's Miss Mac. My other sister, youngest, she's going to be a doctor, so I guess she'll be Dr. Mac. She's smart. She decided to help people, like the rest of us, but do it for money. I do it for who knows why. Could have been a doctor, and I was like, nah, I'd rather teach music. That's right. I used to be a music teacher. In fact, I'm not really a math teacher. I don't have a math degree. I taught music for 3 years in the south side of Chicago, K through 6. I taught kindergartners. Can you believe it? Right? Can you imagine? And did really well, actually. Had fun. And then one day, they come up to me at the end of the 3rd year, and they're like, hey, Mr. Mack, we're glad to have you here. You're really good with the kids, all this stuff. We think you're great. But here's the thing. We don't have any money for music anymore. And I was like, wait a minute. You're telling me we used to have money for music? Because I never got any of that. There was money for me. There was money earlier because I didn't. They're like, no, you misunderstand. We're not going to have any money for music anymore, which means we're not going to do music next year. I was like, okay. We didn't have money before. And they're like, no. We're not going to do it. But we do need a math teacher. You can teach math, right? And I thought to myself, well, I remember sitting in math class going, when am I ever going to use this? And knowing the teacher and BSing my way through high school and college, my response was, yes, of course I can do. I love numbers. I'm so good at the numbers. I'm the best at the numbers. Listen to this. 5 million, 2, root 7, 24, pi. And they're just like, oh my God, this guy's amazing. Right? And they're like, we'll give you the job. So again, when someone asks you, can you do this? By the way, you're fired, but could you do this? Your answer is always, yes. And you figure it out later. Okay. So that's what I did. And they're like, okay, great. We'll see you next year. You'll be teaching AP Calculus in the high school. See you later. I walk out of the room. AP Calculus. You mean like a college level course? All right. So I got home, went to YouTube, and I learned how to teach calculus. But I started at the beginning. Addition, subtraction, multiplication. Not what the answer was. I know 2 plus 2 is 4. Question is, why is 2 plus 2 4? How do I teach that? And I learned it all. Up till calculus. And then the school year started, and then I had to learn calculus as I was teaching it. And I didn't BS it. I really knew what I was doing because I had to learn from the beginning. I knew why it was, not just follow the steps. Right? You ever hear that in a math class? Yes. I hate that. All that teaches is conformity, following the rules. That's not how life works. You don't actually learn anything. You memorize it and then you forget it. And it's like you never learned it. It's a waste of time. When am I ever going to use this? Whenever a teacher doesn't respond with, well, you probably won't, they're usually lying. When I was in school, right, back to classroom, whenever we were going to use this, I remember a kid sitting next to me. His name was Scott Shaputis. Kind of walked around like this. That dude was high all the time. He's a great skateboarder. Really good with pen flipping. Like, hey, all the time. That's how he walked. I'm serious. And he was sitting in the back of the classroom next to me, because, I'm a bad kid, too. And one day, Miss Fraley was teaching. Miss Fraley, just like the sound of her name, very frail, very pure woman. Okay, this woman knew about Helen Keller and would cry at the thought of her story. Right? You know Helen Keller? Can't see, can't talk, anything like that. And she just, like this, right? Anyway, I did that in class, and she got very upset when I did that, so I'll never do that again. Insensitive. So, anyway, Miss Fraley's teaching, and she teaches with her hand behind her back like this, and, chalk on the chalkboard. And she'd go, students, this is algebra. This is important. You will use this. Pay attention. And Scott, being Scott, went, I'm not going to use this. Miss Fraley turned around. Scott, you sound distraught. Of course you will use this. This is algebra. And Scott's like, no, I won't use it. I'm not going to use it. Like, well, Scott, what job will you have when you grow up? And Scott, he looked at me, looked at Miss Fraley. You know what he said? Chippendale. Miss Fraley turned around, red face, went back to teaching and never bothered Scott again. Don't look up what a Chippendale is. The point is that Scott was right. He was never going to use this. And I don't think he became a Chippendale, but you know, dreams do come true. I still hold out for him. But the point is, we're not here to teach you stuff that you're going to use the rest of your life. That's not the point. I'm not going to teach you Pythagorean theorem, and be like, you're going to use that every day. That would be a lie. And not only a lie, but a bad one. You know it's not true. School is not about teaching you stuff you're going to use the rest of your life. Or at least it shouldn't be. What it should be about is teaching you not what to think, but how to think. Because one of these days, the kid in the back of the class who goes, when am I ever going to use this, is going to be asked to be a math teacher. And you're going to have to learn how to learn to do it. And if you know how to learn, you can do anything. Teachers are all the time, we don't know what the future holds, so we got to teach them all this stuff just to make sure. No, you don't know what the future holds. Don't teach them anything. Teach them how to learn. So no matter what the future holds, you got to be a mechanic someday, you got to be whatever, right? And all of a sudden you got to learn it, right? You're working at this job and you got to make money somehow, right? You can learn how to do it. That's the big brain 420, 69 IQ play. That's what you do. So I'm not here to teach you facts. I'm not here to teach you skills. I'm here to teach you how to learn. Not what to think, but how to think. And in class, math is a really good way of doing that. It really is. I'm not going to ask you questions like this. This is a bad question. Because now the teacher says, okay, what's the answer? And they wait for the smart kid, the one that's good at school, the one that has stuff memorized, to raise their hand and answer, where the rest of you go, oh my God, I don't want to seem stupid, right? You wait for that kid to raise their hand, they say 14, and the teacher goes, very good, everybody's learning, and moves on. That's a dumb question. Now, the question I'm going to ask you is not a very good one, but it's a hell of a lot better than that. Other teachers will be like, tell me why it's wrong, right? And they'll be like, I'm a good question asker. No, I'm not asking you that. I know that's wrong. The answer is 14, by the way. No one cares, okay? My question is, can you give me a reason why this is right? When does 7 plus 7 equal 2? Think. I know you're not used to it. You're used to memorizing stuff, and either you know it or you don't. Now we're going to think. Think creatively. We're starting at the bottom, because you're not used to doing this. The last 10 years you've been told there's only one answer, and it's in the back of the book. I've got a reason. I've got a couple. Some other kids have come up with some. I'm not going to tell you mine right away, not because it's the right reason I'm waiting for it. No. It's just I kind of want to share it with you, and I'm going to give you like hints to see if you can figure it out what I'm thinking. But there are other ways to think about this. I've had some students come up with some good ones. Be creative. Don't be afraid. Yeah.
There's 2 7s.
Hell yeah. Third person to do that. 7 plus 7. There's an idea, and we're adding another idea. How many ideas total? 2 of them. And you might think, well, that's not real math. No, it is. There's an entire field of mathematics called set theory. Put a man on the moon. That type of thinking. It's real. Give me another idea. Oh, I thought we were done. No. Think creatively. Eventually, I'll give you a hint for what I'm thinking, but again, I want to know what you're thinking. That's a really good one. Someone said that a day ago in this very class, algebra class. She's sitting right back there. I think it was Kylie Britt. Shout out to her. She's in the chat. Same idea as you. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I hadn't thought of that. Now there are more, but you guys are young. You're not my geometry kids, you're my algebra kids. Most of you guys haven't had me yet. In fact, none of you have had me yet. My geometry kids have already had me, so they know how to think creatively. Here's what I'm thinking. Again, it's not the right answer. It's just what I was thinking. Okay? Here's a hint. When does 7 plus 7 equal 2? Yeah. 2 hands on the 7s. This spot right here tells you what one hand's on. This spot tells you what the other hand's on. So you might say 5 plus 6, right? 5 plus 6 would be 530, right? Or actually no, both hands wouldn't be on the thing. They'd be on separate. So it'd be like 1 and 1 or something, or like that. Or if you had 2 8s here, it'd be 2 because they're both on the 8. Yeah, it's a creative way of thinking about it. The way he's thinking is, what if plus signs don't mean what we think they do, right? I like that. That's very creative. Any other ideas? That wasn't what I was thinking, but good job. We've had 2 people say that today. It was second. I didn't think about that. You're not raising your hand back there, are you? Okay, if you even look like you're raising your hand, I will call on you. You've been warned. I'm smiling, you just can't see it. At 1,000 likes on my YouTube page, I'll do a face reveal. You got jokes. Yeah. Ooh, so you like take the shape of them? That's really clever. You need to remember that for the future. We're gonna have problems like that. Well done. So he's looking at them visually, right? In a different society where they have a different symbol for 7, it might not work. But he's saying you can kind of take these 2 together and stick them like this, right? And there's like a 2. That's actually how I make my Z's. But yeah, good point. Yeah.
The 7 gets rounded to.
Say it louder.
The 7 gets around to the 2 in 7 hours.
That's what I was thinking, but it's not the right answer, to be clear. That's just what I was thinking. If you take 7 and you start at 7, you add 7 hours. 7 hours, you end up at 2 o'clock. We call this modular arithmetic. It's actually real math. When you're in mod 12, it means after you get to 12, you start back over at 1. You ever heard of binary, like for computers, 0s and 1s, right? After you get to 1, you go back to 0, 0, 1. Next number would be go back to 0, 1, 1, right? All that. That's mod 1, which is a very weird system. But mod 12, we see all the time. We see it on the clock. This is real math. In mod 12, 7 plus 7 is 2. What else would be 2 in mod 12? What about 12 plus 2? That would be 2, right? You go to 12 o'clock and you add 2. Okay. You could do 25 and add 1. So 25, if I start at 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, there's another 12 that gets me to 24. Yeah. One more, right? That would be 2 as well in mod 12, right? It's real math. Those are the kinds of questions we're going to be asking. How? Why? Not what is. Kobe. Damn it. All right, haven't made one today. I used to be over here in my defense, right? Now I'm over here staying away from all your germs. You guys all get beeped in this morning? Yeah. We were testing these out in the teacher one of the days. Not mine, but somebody else's. They tested on themselves. They got a 55-degree Fahrenheit. I just got a 40.5. Accurate. We're so safe. This is so safe. So safe. Safety first. Anyway, those are the types of things we're going to be doing this year. Questions like that. You're going to have to support your answers. Here's how I feel about homework. Okay? Here are the reasons you give it. It's good for practice. It lets me know whether you know your stuff or not, right? So I can help you. It gives you a sense of responsibility and teaches you time management skills, right? All 3 of those are BS. Studies have shown it doesn't do any of that stuff. And here's why. If you want to teach people time management skills, you know how you do that? You don't give them a bunch of stuff and say, figure it out. You teach them time management skills, right? That's how you teach. Like, you don't teach people math by just giving them a bunch of problems, or do we? Right? That's what school does. It's not learning. It's not teaching. That's why spring was so bad, because teachers didn't have cameras. I did. I could do a live stream, right? But they just give you a 5-minute video and say, here's your homework. Yeah. Right? Now, it's the best they could do. God bless them, right? They didn't have any cameras. They had no support. We had nothing, right? And most teachers don't think about the side of the box like I do, because they're so beat down by the system that they're like, got to do it this way. This is how school works, right? So God bless them, right? But that was not remote learning. It wasn't. That's why it sucked. They're going to say, oh, it's because we didn't have grades. No, the grades are the only thing that keeps you in your seats. That and the law, right? And as soon as we take that away, no wonder they're not learning because they haven't been learning ever. We swept you under the rug and made it, see, they're learning. Look, they got an A. They were in class. They must have learned. And then we removed that, and it turns out you guys aren't learning. They're like, oh, my God, it's because the grades weren't there. No, grades hide that. So we don't have to actually think, did they learn something? Here's a great example. Send you home with homework. What do your parents ask? Do you have any homework tonight? Did you get it done? Do they ask, is your homework worth doing?
No.
Why aren't they? Why do we assume that homework is always good? You have to send it out every day as a good teacher, right? Why? Why is that the rule? I want it to be the exception. If I've got an assignment where I'm like, I want you to go home and interview your parents, right? Sure, homework. But in general, that's your time. And unless I can justify really needing to do that, I'm not going to give it to you. I'm not. What about practice? It's really good for practice. How many of you guys do a sport? Okay, football, what are we talking?
Football, wrestling.
Okay, good. Football and wrestling. When you go to practice, do you just go like practice in like a garage or something with no coach, no teammates?
No.
No, why not? Well, one, it's more fun to do with others, right?
Yeah.
But two, if you're doing something wrong in wrestling, you can't see what's going on because your head's down here in someone's armpit, right?
Yeah.
But your coach can. That's me. I'm your coach. So why are we sending people home with homework to practice something when no one can say, oh, you're making a mistake? Not only that, I taught you something in 50 minutes, taught you, right? And now 9 hours later, you got to go home after you've had 12 other classes. And if you don't get it right 100%, well, then you're going to get punished by your grade. So now you're stressing out, right? How easy is it to cheat on homework? So easy. I showed the same assignment in geometry every day to my math teacher. Every day. And he'd walk around, 10 out of 10. Super easy to cheat. You don't even have to cheat off somebody. You can just show the same assignment like I did. Hey, if he catches me, he catches me. But if he doesn't, right, I can just go, oh, sorry, wrong one. I did it all year. And the reward for cheating is huge, right? Not only is it good for your grade, but it saves you a lot of time. It saves you a lot of heartache, too. You go home with homework and you're actually going to do it. Oh, my God. You're crying. Your parents are yelling. They start crying. Everybody feels stupid, right? It's child abuse. Jesus Christ. So it's not good for your learning. It doesn't give you time management skills. And it's not good practice. So why the hell do we do it? I don't know, I'm asking. I'm going to get rid of homework unless it's necessary. Like, if I can justify it and be like, okay, this really needs to go home, I'll give it to you. But it might never happen.
I never understood.
Yeah. You don't have to be a genius to think like that. You just have to be willing to ask questions and question authority, right? Why are we doing this? Is that too much to ask?
All right, we're just laying the answers.
Hey, be nice, okay? One of the things you're going to have to learn in here is that we speak no evil, okay? What happens in here stays in here. Just because I'm doing it one way and I'm preaching something doesn't mean you got to go give grief to the rest of these teachers. They mean well. They're not doing it on purpose. Every teacher joined teaching because they want to help kids. No one's doing it for the money because they're not getting any, right? They're here because they want to help kids. And over time, they get beat down by that system. They're too poor and overworked to have time to think outside the box. I'm single. I don't have a family at home. I can spend time doing it the hard way to make sure it's done right. These poor people don't get paid enough to do the job that they're doing right now. You know what I'm saying? We can't demand more of them. That's wrong. And I'm a hypocrite because I do more than I should. But I do it because I can. Other people can't. Not because they're bad people or bad teachers. They get beat down by the system. When they try something new and radical like I'm doing, they get smacked for it. By parents, by kids, by everybody. But I keep getting back up. Because I can. Other people can't. So don't take it out on them, okay? I also want to get rid of grades. Here's why. The people that get good grades don't need grades to motivate them. They don't need that. The people that don't get good grades, the grades don't motivate them because they're already getting bad grades, right? Oh, I got to get an A. You're not going to get one. So why try, right? That's what a lot of you think. I think there's, some disagreement there, but that's what you think, right? Once you get that F, it's like, great, I'm an idiot, right? In reality, it's just you missed a minus sign 12 times. You knew what you were doing. You made a silly mistake, but you knew everything else. You're a freaking genius. You don't know it because grades make you feel dumb. I want to get rid of grades. The problem is I'm not in charge. I'm just one dude, right? Just some guy in this classroom. Everybody else is running on grades. Your parents want grades. Everybody wants grades, right? So here's my evil plan to save the world. I'll give you a grade. Here's how we're going to do it. I'll give you assignments, right? If you want assignments, I'll give them to you. You can come up with your own assignments. At the end of the week, every week, we're going to meet in person, either virtually or here, right? We're going to have a conversation. It's going to go something like this. You're going to say, I think I deserve an A for this week. And I'll say, I think you deserve a B or whatever, right? You know, might be reversed. And if that's just going to be like, well, I think I deserve an A. And I say, oh, you did nothing. You deserve a D. And you're like, okay, fine, we'll compromise, C+, right? We're not doing that, right? And you'd be like, got it. No, you're going to say, I think I deserve this grade. You're going to hand me your portfolio. Your portfolio is going to be a collection of all your work that you've done that week and the week before and further back. Okay, it's going to build all the way through the semester. And I'll have looked at it, and we'll have talked about it before then. So I need to look at everything, right? But you're going to say, this is why I think I deserve an A. And we'll talk about it. And I'll say, well, here's why I think you deserve what you deserve, right? I don't think you really understand this part. I think you're pretty close, but not quite. You've done good things over here, so I think you're more like a B. And then we'll come to an agreement. And that'll be your grade for the week. And I'll put those comments that we talked about on Skyward for your parents to look at. They can view your portfolio anytime. I'm going to do it electronically because it's a matter of if, or when, not if, we go back to remote learning. Sorry to say it, but it's going to happen. There's just no way 12 of you aren't going to get a cold and we're going to think it's COVID and shut down the whole school. Or, God forbid, you do get COVID, right? Town over already has 50 cases. So, they're shutting down schools left and right. So it is a matter of time. But anyway, they can access your portfolio, see what you're working on, see all my comments that I've done. I'm not going to put a grade at the top of your papers. No letter, no numbers. I'm going to give you a piece of paper and say, here's what I think you did well, here's what I think you didn't do so well. Here's what you can fix.
I want to take a brief moment to welcome everyone back for the 2020 school year. We all know that things are going to be different, they're going to be weird, and at times they're going to be frustrating. So I want to thank everyone for their patience and understanding with all the guidelines that have been put in place so we can have some form of in-person schooling. It appears thus far that everyone is doing a great job. Please keep up the good work. Remember, we are doing this. We can hopefully get ourselves back to some kind of normal as soon as possible.
Normal. I hate that
With
word.
that in mind, I want to highlight the lunch period guidelines.
This is not normal.
You'll immediately notice that the table
Stop trying to make it normal.
We ask that you sit no more than 2 per table.
And I like him, by the way, just to be clear. He's a good principal. He really is. I've worked for some crappy ones.
And remain socially distanced while in line. You may take your lunch outside to eat on the picnic tables or find a nice place on the front lawn. Please be courteous with your trash and make sure it finds the garbage cans. You may remove your mask to eat, of course, but we ask that you put it back on when you return your tray to the garbage cans or any time indoors. I know that traditionally the lunchroom provided an opportunity to gather in groups around the table and socialize after you eat. You'll not be able to do it in the same manner this year. You're welcome to move your group outside, remove your mask, and socialize as long as your group is responsibly social distancing. Just remember to put your mask on when entering the building. And finally, please do not gather next to the doors near the end of the lunch period. You need to maintain social distancing at all times throughout the lunch period. Thanks again for your help, and good luck with the school year.
So anyway,
If you please come to the office.
we're going to have conversations about your grade every week, and by the end of the semester, you'll hand me your whole portfolio, whether it's in a binder or online, right? And you'll say, and this is why I deserve an A in your class. And it won't come as a shocker to you, because we'll be talking about it every week at least. We're also going to have a blog where you can write about your learning. You can make it so I can only read that post that you posted, if it's personal, right? Or you can have it open to everybody, and you can comment on other people's blogs. They got a question in math, you can answer it. If you answered their question and you asked a question, you're both getting credit for that on your portfolio. Good question asking, good answering, right? I want to build community, learning together. There's no competition here. It's about learning. Everything else is getting the hell out of the way. If that means I need to get out of the way, that's fine, right? If you're playing Clash of Clans the whole week and you still come in with a portfolio that's like, I know what I'm doing, God bless you, right? Don't listen to me. But if you're playing Clash of Clans all week and then you don't have anything for me, and you have a crappy argument, you're going to get a crappy grade. There's no reward for cheating in here, right? Because you have to know your crap. I'm not going to grade anything. We're going to talk about it. I'll know if you don't know it, right? Well, I'm a teacher. I'm good at that type of stuff. I'll be talking to you constantly. So instead of punishing you like other teachers do, we gotta make the punishment harder for grading or for cheating, because if it's not, they'll do it. But it's easy to cheat. The risk is really low, right? It saves you a lot of time and heartache. So of course you're doing it, right? All that matters is the grade you've been told since kindergarten. Why are we blaming you? Instead of punishing you guys for cheating, I'm removing the reward. Doesn't do anything. Great, you copied down all that work that your friend did. You're not getting a grade for it. Congratulations, you just played yourself, right? That's how class is going to work. It's going to be a lot of communication back and forth between me, you, your parents, right? They're going to know what's on Skyward and what's going on in class. It's going to be more democratic. It's not going to be me telling you what's going on. Now, I'll get up here and teach, right? I'll be like, today we're talking about triangles. Let me talk about the Pythagorean theorem, right? But we'll spend entire days working on problems like that 7 plus 7 thing. We wouldn't spend an entire day on that one. That one's a little too simple, right? But like, we'll do that. We'll take it slow because everything in here is about learning. And all of that can go in your portfolio. I spent so much time in 7 plus 7. I found 12 different ways to think about it. Great. That's really good. That's what we worked on this week. You should get credit for that. You come up with an interesting math idea, have an interesting question, put it on the blog, right? Start talking about it. Great. You should get credit for that. We're going to do a lot of writing in here. Okay? I'm going to help you with writing. The person that would have gotten 100 on an assignment, right? They get 100, they're done with it. In my system, I tell them what they did well and what they could do better and challenge them to do some other stuff on top of it. And if you want to be done with it, you can be done with it. It's like a rough draft, right? For English class. You want to be done with it? Call it a day. Make it a final draft, right? But if you don't want to be done with it, keep getting credit, right? Person who bombed it, got nothing right or very little, right? All they see is a bunch of check marks and a million different things they got to fix. Overwhelming, right? Oh my God, right? Not under my system. My system, this wasn't very good work. There were a lot of issues. What I want you to focus on is this. Now you only have one thing to fix. Then you fix it, come back. Great job. That's much better for this week. You did really good work this week. That's A work. Was it perfect? No, but you did a lot of good work. Now I still need you to fix these things, right? Because it's not going to be an A next week, right? We can't stay still. At least not until we get to a certain spot, right? That's how it's going to work. What do you think? Yeah? Well, I hope so. I hope so. I've been reading lots of books this summer trying to figure out what's going on. Phase 1 was last year of me doing this. I did something similar to this. We did very little of the portfolio. We still had homework. It was very rare. And I did quizzes at the end of every week, and that's kind of what was your grade, show me what it could be done. And then if you got below 65, you'd have to retake it. You'd meet with me first. That way you don't just circle C next time instead of B, because, you know, right? I had to make sure you learned it. But the problem was that the kids that normally got A, B's, and C's, they took advantage of that. They did retakes, right? And they all got A's. The kids that get D's and F's, they just felt stupid like always and didn't do them. Because, like, why bother? Even though if they did come in, if they just come in once, they'd realize, oh my gosh, this isn't that bad. For some reason, there's some magic when we just work together, you know? Have a conversation. But they wouldn't come in. So I'm getting rid of that. It doesn't work for the kids that need it most. This way, everybody's talking. Because that's the main thing that worked last year. And we're focusing on the portfolio instead of doing everything else. I've got some stories about how I learned how to learn and kind of how I discovered that how we should go about grading students, how we should talk about learning. It has to do with me fixing my car this summer. I was going to have to spend $3,000 fixing it, tearing apart the whole engine and all that stuff. But I don't have that kind of cash, right? Your boy don't have 3Ks, he doesn't even 1K, right? Only K I've got is in my first name, Derek. So I had to learn how to do that on my own. I'm not a mechanic. I mean, look, freaking nerd, right? It used to be cool. I used to be a musician, tour around Canada, United States, play drums, do sound. That's why I love all this stuff. Then I got glasses, started balding, and now I'm a math teacher. It like all happened all at once, man. Used to be cool. I had a table here that I used to teach on. It was my merch table, one of my merch tables for selling stuff, right? And then, like last year, it was my table that I did math on, right? Like a perfect metaphor for how my life was going. But anyway, had to work in a car. And so what I did is, like, I could pay $3,000 and really, I don't have the money, right? Or I could pay a little bit less, buy the parts, and learn how to do it myself. And so I did this summer. I watched YouTube, got the owner's manual, read through a bunch of forums, did all kinds of research, made sure I knew what I was doing, and knew the steps and all that. And I took apart my whole engine and put it back together. Replaced a water pump, bunch of timing belts, all kinds of stuff, fixed a coolant leak, sealed some gaskets, all kinds of stuff. I went to turn on the car, followed all the steps, right? And it turns on, and then died, right? I'm like, shit. Because if I spent $600 getting the parts, and that didn't work, now I'm paying $3,000 plus $600 to get it done, right? I just cost myself more money. I'm like, okay. I followed all the steps. This should be right. There must be some kind of like magic thing that if you're a mechanic, you know that there's something else going on, right? Like you have to be a mechanic to know how to do this just right. You know, maybe I screwed up the timing. I don't know, right? I did it correctly according to everything I watched and everything I read about. I was super careful about all the parts, do it right, didn't skimp, right? But maybe there's some magic to it. I'm going to stop the story here for a second because maybe this is what you feel like in math class. I followed all the steps. I watched all the videos. I did all the reading. Still got bad grades. I don't know why. There must be some magic. You have to be a math person to get this, right? Well, it's not true. What I did is I called up my mechanic friend. It's like, hey, here are the codes I'm getting from my little reader. Here's what I've been working on. Working on the timing. Did I screw up the timing? Is there something going on here that I didn't realize? I thought I followed all the steps. He didn't even have to come out. He's like, look, if you followed all the steps, you followed all the steps. There's no secret. Looks like you did it right. I'll tell you the story next time. See you later. Have a good one, guys. Take care. I believe so, yes. I believe so. I'm not a guy that knows things. Sorry. I sit here, you show up, I teach. Bye. Have a great one. Stop smiling. It's math class. Okay? There's no happiness in here.